Good afternoon. This is Esther Abasidis, and it's my Wisdom Wednesday live. And today's live is about manifestation and the waiting game. So I don't know whether anybody has been working on manifesting anything for themselves, a new relationship, some more money perhaps, more better health. So whatever it is that you desire at the moment, I want to take you through the manifestation process. So you may know about this, you may know some elements of this, and the biggest part of the manifestation game or process is actually the waiting bit, and this is where many people fall foul, and because they become impatient, or they're looking at the evidence that is not supporting the manifestation process. So first of all, I'm going to walk you through the manifestation process. So it starts, first of all, with a very crisp and clear desire. This is the seed that you actually sow in your consciousness. So you don't need to define the manner of obtaining or achieving this desire. The how is not up to you. And that's very, very important to note, because when we start moving into taking action to achieve a goal or a desire or objective, we're not actually doing it in a sense, in a spirit of faith and belief, and that can actually be our undoing. So I see somebody's watching live. Say hi, drop your name down if you've not registered with StreamYard, so I can actually see who's watching. So that is the first foremost step, is to actually conceive this real clear desire. What is it you want to manifest in your life? And we say manifestation because creation involves some sort of effort, but if you understand all the spiritual stuff, you know that everything is already created. It's just a case of allowing it to manifest. And I'll talk more about that, the meaning of that, in a moment. So that's step number one. Step number two is that you have to cultivate the environment. So the garden, the earth in which you plant that seed. So what do I mean by that? This is the environment of your mind and your emotional set point, so your emotional environment. You cannot permit yourself to submit to any suggestion of fear, lack, or any other limitation or undesirable impression. And that is very, very important. Your current reality will always give you evidence to the contrary, because the current reality is just a simple manifestation of preceding thoughts and feelings. So your preceding thoughts and feelings may very much be focused on a lack and limitation and frustration of desires. So you have to adjust your awareness, your thinking and feeling around what's true and what's not true for you, and what you would like to express, what you want to be true for you, and experience as a reality for you. So it's a subtle shift in our attention, in our awareness. And that is the step two, it's that shift in awareness that, we are responsible. So we create, we respond to external stimuli, but if we react to them emotionally, then it can actually be a counter influence in terms of the manifestation process. So it's always been staying firm and resolved in your desire, and knowing, and this comes to a further step in a moment, that it is true for you, that it is an expression of you. Because you wouldn't have the desire in the first place. It is there. It is already there as a probability for you. The fact that you've got this desire is already a seed that you've actually planted. So you have to know and feel that the seed will germinate through love and care. So what do I mean by this? So you have to cultivate, this again, it's around the cultivation. So you have to keep, working on that feeling, that frequency of, this frequency is all about your level of vibration. So your energetic vibration has to be one akin to or associated with abundance, with feeling free, feeling content and happy, and feeling even joyful and expectant. And gratitude as a practice will help you in this, because it will take away the focus from the lack. It will concentrate on what you have already and is a significant having for you right now, because it's all about the frequency that you are submitting yourself to energetically. And so keep the focus clearly on your mental image of your desire and the high vibration energy, keeping, feeling that wish, feeling the wish are accomplished, and not the reality that you can see in front of you. Don't look to the evidence in the 3D, in your physical world. See it in your mental world first, and imagine it to be true for you. But then we move on to this piece that's many people miss out on, this waiting game. So there's an analogy with the bamboo plant. So the bamboo can take 3 to 4 years before it shows evidence that anything is growing, before it pops through the earth. But all the while it's been pushing forth its roots deep into the ground, and it comes up actually hollow, but it is firmly solid. It's very difficult, and it's one of those that bends. In Indonesia, it will bend with the storms and even the floods. So it is. So like yourself, these are roots that we've got to plant deep. This faith we've got to plant deep, and it's got to be stronger and stronger. And it can take time to manifest your desires, the fruits of your faith. You have to remain faithful to your beloved, which is your defined objective. So the waiting is what Neville Goddard calls the Sabbath day. So he talks a lot about the Bible as being very much more symbolic than we think. It's not a depiction of real characters. So I'm not going to go into that and dispute, have a theological dispute about it. But he talks about it being the Sabbath, the period of rest or non-effort, or the day of entombment. So this, he says, is stillness not of the body, but rather of the mind. It's and I quote him, a perfect passivity, which is not indolence, but a living stillness born of trust in this immutable law of consciousness. So it can take time. So, we talk about steadfast faith and patience being absolutely quintessential and paramount. Time is actually a human concept. And the more we submit to our human fears, the more we are likely to shake the roots of the vine and cause it to wither and decay before it's even had a chance to bring forth fruit. So what is faith? So this is actually from a different book. It's from God Works Through Faith by Dr. Robert Russell. It's a very powerful book on faith. So if you are stuck in this problem of the waiting game, and you really feel that you're impatient for the results to show, then this is a very, very solid piece of work to read. It's not a big book, but it's very, very powerful in what it has to communicate. So what is faith? It is an assumption. It is the unconditional acceptance of the truth of our affirmations, and an absolute belief in that our desires will be fulfilled. So that there is a law of faith. There is a law around faith that says, according to your faith, be it done unto you. And that's, as I say, by law. The law must be fulfilled. But be wary. The law works with regard to negative feelings too. So don't concentrate on ill health, poverty, loneliness, injustice, and futility. Otherwise, these conditions will manifest according to your faith, according to the law of faith. So you don't need to seek the solutions of the how. The solutions will present themselves to you. We get really stuck in this, but what do I need to do to achieve that? And they will come to you, but you have to be in that spirit, in that faith of it already accomplished, and it is there. It is waiting for you. And if you don't feel worthy of your desire, then it's an altogether a different game entirely. And that requires some inner work that you have to do around your beliefs and your emotional history. So if you have any of that going on for you, then as an energy alignment method mentor, that's the work I specialize in. So, reach out to me if you do need help, as I can help you recalibrate your beliefs, your emotional set point, so that you become more in flow. So what's in flow? We talk about energy centers in the energy alignment method, the head, heart, and the hara. And the hara is the place we manifest. So it's all about balancing masculine, feminine energies so that we can create. And it's similar to the physical body. We need the masculine, the feminine in order to give birth, to create life. And the same, we have to create life for our desires, for our self-fulfillment. So, this is all the powerful work that I do with energy, recalibration and alignment. And, I say energy rather than mindset. I don't want to bandy that word around because there are so many mindset coaches and their approach is it's a more conventional approach, but it's not the approach I take. I work very much holistically on the energy because, we are essentially human beings and we feel, we feel in our being. So it's a physical aspect of our energy that creates the manifestation. So as I said, because it's all about, we have the mental, it is an intellectual exercise, but it's very much an emotional one too. So intellectually, we actually have to take command of our conscious mind. So we have to drive it in order to guide the subconscious, because the subconscious doesn't care. The subconscious just follows prompts. Whether they are unwitting prompts or witting prompts, so whether they are consciously determined by a conscious mind or whether they are on an unconscious level. So the subconscious mind will always chase a goal. Whatever, it will always filter out things for you, but you have to be in the driver's seat. And I've mentioned this before in a previous life. You have to be fully conscious of your emotional set point and also your mental well-being, and you can drive that. You are, as I said, you direct your subconscious mind. So that's why yesterday I put a post out about affirmations, how they can help and when they don't help us, and what to look out for in terms of the pitfalls, and when to do them, and why it's important that they can actually help us in steering the subconscious mind and resetting the neural pathways, because there are so many old conditioned ways of thinking and believing and stuff that we've inherited from generations past. So I won't go into the story of that. That's another thing, and again, that's the work we do with the energy alignment method. So but you have to cultivate the environment. You have to guide, give the right nutrients, I should say, nutrients to the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is the feeling mind, and it creates then the right vibrational environment for your manifestation to appear, for whatever you desire. And it is a waiting game. And don't be, sometimes it can be very quick and instant, but it's all around working on yourself, on your beliefs and your ideas of what's possible for you. So this is another aspect of the work I do. It's around the self-identity, so that you can more readily accept that you are powerful, that you can really believe in yourself and have this faith and adopt this law of faith for yourself, and that your reality is just, a product of past conditioning, but, your new reality can be so different, and it's just a persistence to that faith, believing in yourself, believing in this law of faith, the law of assumption that it will be yours. Just hold true, stay steadfast, and trust it will be so. And don't look for the evidence that it's not there. Always look for the evidence that you are evolving, you're growing, you're moving into this energy of your dreams realized. Thank you for listening.